Shut up and sit down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rebel Trait Group Podcast, episode 17 on May 15th, 2018. Today is Tuesday. How are we doing today, people? Oh.
Are you asking? Oh, you asking me or are you asking the people? We did this last time, remember?
With me, as always, sorry, everybody, is the gluten-free Jason Bessing.
The gluten-free Jason Bessing. What in the fuck is up?
Hey.
Dropping F-bombs early on this one. This is a rebel episode. This is a rebel episode. Anyway,
let's hope the title.
Nathan, how you doing, man?
Okay.
Skipped
a couple days.
Yeah, we skipped an episode. Man, I had 3 marketing events last week. I had to work 2 days at TPC. Dude, I was just grinded out. I think I put in about 80 hours cumulative between travel and work, and oh man, it was nuts, but made it through. Had fun, made some money, and back at it. Dude, I'm finally rested. There was 12, 13 day stretch where I didn't get more than 6 hours of sleep. Like at the max, I got 6 hours of sleep at one point. Dude, I was just fucking burned out.
I had 2 days off this weekend, so that was nice.
Man, lucky you, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but not
I had a tire blowout last week.
It sucks, man.
Dude, it's just shit. It's shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
how are we doing? Yeah, how's the market?
The Dow Jones selling off a little bit, losing 193 points. Nasdaq losing 59 points. S&P losing 18.5 points or so, and Bitcoin currently sitting at 8,515. She's on a little bit of a pullback from her highs. Where was she? Let me pull up the charts here. Pull up the dailies.
9.8. She was almost hitting 10.
Yeah, we were 9,958. It looks to be about the top ish. And then we sold off. We had that 25% decline just out of nowhere. But it's popping up a little bit back from that, and this might just be some time. Might just be the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of any sort of buying and selling of any security. Man, I'm struggling to talk today.
It's all right, man. Words are hard.
The ebbs and flows of any security just go up and down based on buy and sell orders, and that's just what's going on in Bitcoin. Interesting fact: if you looked at yesterday, Bitcoin did very well on Monday. And if it was right at 9:30, there was a large spike up, about $200 or $300 spike up, and it was exactly at 9:30. And I'm telling you, I think I said it again, or said it before on an episode, but I'm pretty sure it's institutional money making these indentations in these large single trades. Because remember, now that we're trading futures, hedge funds and anyone who's got the nards to do it, is able to short Bitcoin, which means they have in a futures contract you have to buy at the end of your contract, whether it was up or down. So some people are covering their positions, and that's going to cause large spikes of volume and large order blocks coming in at a time. So I'm pretty sure that this is institutional money making its imprint on these charts. So
great. Okay, moving on. Market news with Nate. All right.
I have some things I want to throw in.
Coming in hot today at the end of the about 2 hours before the bell rang at the end of the day, news came out. Kim Jong-un doesn't like Trump doing joint military exercise with South Korea, so he's threatening to cancel his meeting off with Trump, which we kind of want good relations with North Korea, China. They're all kind of interconnected. China's I think super global economic power. One of the super global economic powers of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Can we agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we went over this. They're the biggest importer. We want good relations with North Korea. We don't want to go to war. I hate how anybody who says that. I hate that. I hate that idea.
Fuck them. Let's just bomb them, bro.
Just nuke them. Trump's in office. Send the Moabs.
One thing that Kim Jong Un was also saying was that these military exercises are basically based off of how to invade North Korea, and he's right. I mean, I've seen these exercises. I've had friends that have been in South Korea to do them. I forgot which ones there are, but there's multiple different ones. But which one's going on right now? But yeah, I mean it's true. But yeah, it's provocative, I guess.
Other than that, Dow snaps 8-day winning streak.
Yes,
Rate
that
hikes
run.
coming up.
I have some things I want to throw in there.
Ooh,
Check this out. Tesla is halting production for 5 days.
5 days.
26th to the 31st, basically
Why?
shutting down. I think I didn't really read too much into it. I just thought it was interesting.
5 days.
So it was ahead. So yeah, 5 days. We're gonna halt production. I mean, if that,
they're going on
imagine,
they're going on a fucking company retreat for a week. That's what they're doing. They're not doing anything special.
Remember when didn't you text me something along the lines of they lose like $42,000 a minute?
Yeah, it's something like stupid high, like unreasonably high.
No, it was like 300,000 an hour. It's ridiculous. Some stupid high number, but I mean, shutting down for 5 days. When I was pulling off that headline, there was actually a bullish analyst on saying that this is a good thing, that this gives them a chance to reanalyze and kind of reset and turn things off, kind of get everything together, and then get production going again. Kind of like how Ford is halting production for like a year, but that's to really just cut back on costs in a dying car economy.
Okay, so here was the text. It says, I saw a bullet point on Bloomberg that said that Tesla loses roughly $6,000 a minute.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
God.
Also,
I don't know how they got that number, but it's just
the 10-year Treasury yield has hit the highest yield in 7 years, and it's above 3% now. It's at 3.09%. And the 30-year is at 3.22%. So that's one of the market drivers. That's kind of why we had a little bit of a sell-off, especially at the open. We had a little sell-off. That and plus interest rates were going up, of course. But when interest rates go up, the bond yields go up. And that is something that is kind of going to push the markets down a little bit, because the way investors in Wall Street is looking at it is, if I can get a guaranteed guaranteed on a Treasury note, guaranteed more than 3% on a 10-year Treasury yield, why would I risk holding a stock for 10 years? And that's the way that that's not everybody's mindset, but remember, 3% in a Treasury, super safe. Set it and forget it, for sure. Market gyrations, if you need that money in 10 years, you don't know where the market's going to be. So it takes that risk away.
Gyration.
So remember, Treasury yields and the market act.
And the bond market gyrations. I'll definitely remember that.
Absolutely.
I don't understand the bond market at all.
It's something that you kind of need to read into. It's a whole different universe, because it's not equities, it's debt. Rather than like basically saying how much profit am I getting, it's basically saying, is this company going to be here in 2 years? Are they going to be able to pay the bills?
I don't even know if I would buy company bonds at all.
I mean, they yield anywhere between 5 and 15% based on the credit rating. I know a particular individual who likes to invest in retail bonds, things like L Brands and Bed Bath & Beyond, stuff like that, because they're yielding like 8, 9, 10% almost.
That's crazy.
But the balance sheets are immaculate.
Yeah.
And remember, you're not getting the profits. You're basically saying, can they keep the lights on for 2 years?
Yeah.
Not do they have to grow sales? Do they have to market? Do they have to whatever?
All right, what else you got to add?
Interesting concept. No, that was about it. I kind of wanted to touch on the T yield there. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was excited about it, man. Get off me. Get off.
Right. Well, let's dive in, dude. I'm ready. Fucking.
It's today is the day. What
Oh,
is the
gosh.
topic today, Nathan?
It's everybody's best friend and worst enemy. It's cryptocurrencies, people. Send them in. Send them in. I mean, what do you want to talk about, man? Go ahead and ask some questions, man.
Cryptocurrency. First of all, give me just a brief. Say I'm 65 years old, and I say, hey, what's this Bitcoin? What's this cryptocurrency stuff?
I feel
What
like
is
there's
it?
like two different like sides to cryptocurrencies. There's more of like the investing side and the trading side of cryptocurrencies. And then actually I feel like there's three sides. There's the
And there's the
actual
practical.
currency. There's like actually the practical way to use currency as a cryptocurrency. There's a lot of people that I say a lot of people, maybe like I don't know. It's increasingly becoming more popular with businesses. Let's just say that.
I know there's places in California, like restaurants, mom and pop shops that you can pay in Bitcoin. You can pay your tab in Bitcoin. And I think I've told you before, Al's Pizza right in our neighborhood here, they accept Bitcoin. It's absolutely risky, but hey, it's money. Money's money. They accept it.
We'll go into that. We'll definitely go into that.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, you can actually use it as currency. It's basically it's just exactly as it sounds, a cryptocurrency. But the idea behind the name of cryptocurrency is behind its fundamental, the blockchain. They use kind of a cryptology, they call it, to kind of record transactions, and that's the security of the blockchain. But yeah, you can use it for cash, like you can use it for exchanging items. So let's say you wanted to buy a bike on Amazon, let's say, and you wanted to pay in Bitcoin, you could use that. You would buy your Bitcoin in dollars. There's an exchange. You have to do that. Just like there would be an exchange if you wanted to do yen. You would have to buy the yen in dollars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The way I tell people to look at it is just don't even think of it as some crazy different thing in terms of investing and trading. Just think of it as another currency.
If that's how you want to think about it, yeah. But like there's people.
Remember, like how we trade the U.S. dollar
Yeah.
to the Japanese yen, the U.S. dollar to the Bitcoin.
Yeah. But there's people who trade the dollar as well. Like you can trade Bitcoin just as well, and you can use the dollar just as well.
Mm-hmm. You can go from dollar to Bitcoin to yen back to dollar.
Yeah. People. So you might be asking, so why don't I just use cash? If I can just buy Bitcoin, why don't I just use cash? Cash is more readily accepted. Well, there's a lot of things. There's connected to the U.S. dollar. It used to be backed by gold. What's it backed by now?
Nothing.
It's backed by what the government says.
The full faith of the United States government.
That just like screams inflation, doesn't it?
That just screams manipulation and fraud. But that's a different
No, it
story.
It can be part of this episode because like okay.
It really can. It really can.
What will it's called fiat currency. That's what that is, where the only value backed behind a currency is what the government says it is, or there's nothing to back it up. The government backs it up.
Yeah, because we abolished the gold standard, and I think it was fully exited during the Nixon era is when it was fully exited, and the U.S. dollar used to say U.S. Treasury notes. Now they say Federal Reserve notes. The U.S. Treasury notes were backed by gold. And in that time, you could literally go to the bank and say, hey, I exchanged this dollar and I want my little ounce of gold. And they give it to you. You were entitled to that. And that was just a way for people to more easily trade and barter rather than have to carry around tons of gold. Your paper represented the gold you owned. Well, the government seized it. Long story short, the government seized all of it and said, hey, we're no longer backed by gold, and the U.S. dollar is now backed by what we say.
All right, so like you're gonna ask, well, so what's so wrong with that? I trust the government. That's a funny joke. Well, okay. Take for example Zimbabwe. They're now under the euro, I believe. I think they have an exchange. It's really low. So they had a Zimbabwe dollar. I forget what it was called. And I guess they were going through debt or something like that, but they had fiat power inside their government.
They were able to print money out of thin air, literally. Just say, hey, just make more money.
So they kept increasing the amount of money. People kept spending and spending. What happens when you spend and spend? Supply and demand. The price goes up. So I mean, inflation's just like a slippery slope. Once you get it's like heroin. It's like you take it and then you just can't stop. This is not from experience. This is from research I did in health class. You take it, you can't stop, and it just keeps going out of control until your $1 trillion bills are worth less than $5.
More and more and more and more and more.
I got it for Christmas. I have a $100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Could you imagine if that dollar, like, let's just say the Zimbabwe, they don't do it anymore, but the Zimbabwe dollar to the U.S. dollar is like 84. I think it's like 8 cents right now.
Well, it's the same exact thing as how in 1910 a Coca-Cola was 5 cents, and now today they can go as much as $2.50.
It's a much slower version, yes.
It's a much slower version, absolutely. Zimbabwe, that was just corrupt politicians. That was just corrupt politicians saying, hey, we have control of the money. Just print as much as we can and let's get reckless with it. And that's exactly what goes on with the U.S. dollar is people believe, this is – I'm going to take a neutral stance on this.
Sure, yeah, no. We're going into our next topic next.
Yeah, but people believe that the U.S. dollar is created and manipulated by fraudulent bankers and corrupt politicians, and that it's an illegal organization that tries to put monetary funds and install governments across the globe. That is the conspiracy.
Yeah, but in the meantime, invest in the market.
So, therefore, this crypto... Wait, what did you say?
I said, but in the meantime, until it does collapse, invest in the market.
Yeah, until then, we're good.
Yeah.
But no, the... cryptocurrency, more specifically Bitcoin, was created for this exact reason.
Decentralized.
Was that exact? To decentralize the money.
Currency.
Get it out of the hands of politicians and bankers and governments and let the people determine the value. Just like gold.
It's not just like a breath of fresh air.
It's beautiful. Like it's literally a beautiful thing because obviously we buy into that conspiracy. If it's a conspiracy, I completely buy into it. And
I could see it.
And cryptocurrency is a way to get that out of the hands of the bankers and stuff. And I watched that documentary on Netflix, Banking on Bitcoin. I know you watched. They actually said that Bitcoin was launched weeks after the financial crisis. Like it was ready to go.
Good.
Don't you feel like it was almost planned?
Like this is the new currency of the future?
Like, yeah. Like this is how we launch this. We're launching it now. This go. Like there was a way to overthrow the system. Like, okay, Wall Street just went down. It's like when you're playing Mario and Bowser's like on the ground, you got to jump on him.
I think that's the worst time to do something like that. Everybody's just lost their money. The next thing they want to do is do a .com kind of thing.
Get a new money.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's exactly what it was created for. It was created so that you and I can transfer you money without any sort of middleman. There's no third party. There's no bank. There's no taxes. There's no PayPal.
Not technically. There is sort of like a middleman, and that's where kind of the blockchain comes in.
Mm-hmm. But it's out of the hands of the government. It's out of the hands of. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
So even though there is like a fee, which I would say is almost like a small tax. Even though there's that fee when you transfer and execute an order,
we'll get into
whether
fees.
It's a trade or whether it's a trade on an investment platform or it's a purchase.
That's the security.
Even though there's that fee, you're paying for the. There's the security. You're going. I'll be honest. Some people probably use it to go off the record on shit. Absolutely, pay me in Bitcoin.
Okay, let's slow down a bit. Let's pump the brakes. We're going a little bit out of control here.
I'm rambling. Sorry, I'm excited. I've waited for so long.
So the blockchain. All right, so you're saying, okay, the government doesn't control it. Cool. So how is it like? How do I trust it? Okay. So you say if it's government backed, well, at least I can have some hope that there's actually someone there to say that they're going to back it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bail me out. Yeah, there's
But
something.
with cryptocurrency, who is that? Who is that person? Well, you have the blockchain. That's the people. That's what supports. That's the backbone of cryptocurrency, is the blockchain. And so what that is whenever there's a transaction made, it goes into what's called a block. All right. And now a block is, I think, there's like a certain size of what Bitcoin is, and each cryptocurrency might have a different size. Maybe Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies are working on technology to make those sizes larger, increase transaction times, blah, blah, blah. And so anyways, let's just say it's 10 megabytes. That's probably really high. 1 megabyte blocks. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put transactions, and they'll stack them one on top of each other. And they'll just be the transactions from here to here. And each one of those transactions has what's called like a hash. Not like a hash, it's called a hash. Or a hash mark, I think. And what happens is the transaction happens, and it places that hash mark. And then the next transaction has a bit of the hash mark from the previous transaction. So if you were going to hack the whole thing, you'd have to go through the whole blockchain. It's like
connected. as there's new orders going on top.
And if you think about transaction times right now, to even hack any of that, you'd have to go through each one of those cryptology codes for each transaction. Yeah. Each transaction's got its own kind of cryptology code or whatever, and they have what's called miners. You hear what's a miner? Who processes these information? Who processes these transactions? Those are the miners. Your computer, what will happen is you set up a program on your computer it's like an algorithm solver basically. And each one of these transactions comes with an algorithm, and your computer will try and solve this algorithm. But the thing is that in the beginning, transactions were going like at the speed of freaking light, or not the speed of light. They were going much faster than they are now because no one's using it. There weren't that many transactions. And so transaction fees weren't as high as they were now. Now there's more transactions. It costs more. And so these miners...
There's a higher demand, right?
Yeah, right. And so these miners, what they'll do is they'll just fucking solve that algorithm, and they'll get paid in Bitcoin. I don't know where that money comes from. Maybe it's the fee, I think it's the fee. It's most definitely the fee.
I think when you send if I'm sending you $10 and the fee's $1, I think you're going to end up getting $9.
No, I think you're going to lose $1. I'm going to end up getting $10.
You're going to get 10, and then they pull another $1 out. It might depend on your wallet, to be honest.
Well, I don't think they would let you do something, if you didn't have enough money to make a transaction and you didn't have the transaction fee there. Well, they would say insufficient funds. Your transaction wouldn't go through.
That's true. So they get this fee. So right now, let's just say I'm buying I'm going to say a calculator because I'm looking at a calculator. I'm buying a calculator from you, but instead of dollars, you say, "Hey, I want some Bitcoin." I'm like, "Sure, man, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'll give you some of my Bitcoin." So I put in the order, or I get on my wallet. You give me your account number, and I basically put in that I'm sending you 1 Bitcoin. I'm just gonna make it simple. Obviously, I wouldn't send you 1 Bitcoin for a calculator, but let's just make it simple. I'm sending you a Bitcoin for the calculator. So basically, it's going to are you saying that it's going to another computer where that algorithm is being processed, and then when it leaves that computer, it will send that to you and reflect in your account? Like, I don't get what you're saying. Like, is it like a bank where I would log on to Bank of America and send you $10?
Kind of. It's like not really, because it's got to go through the blockchain. You know what I mean? Like it has to be put on the blockchain. That transaction that we did, it's got to be put on there. Those miners, you got to think of them just as computers.
Well, yeah, because I just picture big server farms that just process math codes.
Let's say I'm the third party. I'm the miner. This is what I think is what happens. Is I mine the Bitcoin. Is I do those algorithms. I solve it and I put it on the blockchain. And I also take $1 from the person who sent it. That's basically what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's my payment for solving those algorithms.
And by you solving that algorithms, it's keeping that transaction secure.
Yes, it's put on the blockchain. We just talked about how much they would have to go through if they were going to hack it. Remember? It's like it's connected each once the 1 megabyte block gets full, it goes to a new block. And that block has bits of information from the last block. So you can't crack this block without having information from the last block. So it goes back and back and back.
So there's fees to buy it and send it / sell it.
It depends. Like if you're buying it from an exchange, there's no fees.
Mm-hmm.
And you have like company fees, like Coinbase, they'll charge their own fees. The fees that we're talking about is really, I think, between two people. And I'm not sure if like you get it from Coinbase, that means two people, and then they fine you or they fee you. And I don't know if part of the fee goes to Coinbase and then part of the fee goes to the miners. Like you can look up your transaction and see where parts of the Bitcoin go.
Mm-hmm.
And from as far as what I know, I can see it going to two places. When I sent it to you, it went to you and it went to some other person. I just assumed that was the fee.
Okay. So let's just say you want to ignore all the technical. Remember, I'm 65 years old. So I asked you, okay, what's this digital currency stuff? And you say it's all about the blockchain. You say, yeah, I don't care about that. How do I get rich off of it? Let's just say you don't really care about the process, the complex computing and stuff. You're like, okay, I get it. It's money. When I send money, it goes through a bunch of complicated systems, and the other person gets the money.
So the thing about it being decentralized, as we said, that like the value comes from the people. How much do you want to pay for it versus how much do you want to sell it? It's basic supply and demand. I've heard Peaslee.
Well, that's just like a stock.
Yeah, I've heard. Well, it's not. There's different fundamentals inside of a stock than there are.
Well, I mean, but as far as the supply and demand of the price, if the stock sits at $10,
sure,
and you want to buy it, you want to sell it for 15, and I want to buy it for 10. We got to meet in the middle. We got to determine what it's worth if we're going to make that execution happen. That's the same that's going on with Bitcoin.
Yeah, but if you're determining price movement, I mean, like you can look at different things like fundamentals in a long-term basis. I can't look at a long-term with Bitcoin. People could say 50,000 by end of year, 1 million by 2020.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why? What? Who? Like
based off what? Who's going to pay $1 million for a Bitcoin?
Yeah, so who's powering the value behind this, right? And you're saying it's going to get to 50,000? That's some trust in people.
Well, the free market is literally what's driving this entire thing. It's literally just someone said, here's a widget, and y'all get to bid over it. And there's just buying and selling based on what everybody thinks as a whole.
It's
the same as like gold and supply and demand with any commodity.
There's always going to be buyers at the current price. If you go to the exchange, any exchange right now, it's fucking popping at the current price.
Mm-hmm. It's no matter what the price is, there's always buyers and sellers.
Yeah. Right? However, there are orders much higher and much lower than the current price. Like people have that plan and they're sticking with. Like they're buying at 4,000 or they're selling at 20,000. You can see it on GDAX.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually showed that to me. You kind of introduced that all to me. It's actually very interesting. Can you tell me what GDAX is real quick?
So we'll go from Coinbase and then we'll go into GDAX. Coinbase is the wallet service, I guess you can call it. Is that what it is?
It's a wallet.
Yeah. And to understand that, to own cryptocurrencies, you need a wallet, which has a what's it called? A private key.
Mm-hmm. It has
some kind of key.
It has the capacity to hold your Bitcoin because it's your money.
No,
you need like an account.
It's like a secure kind of. It's like they tell you the code, you can write it down, whatever. And so that's what stores your cryptocurrencies. There are exchanges to determine the price of Bitcoin, just like there are with the commodities market. It's basically like a commodity. People are saying buy, sell at this much. And so Coinbase has their own exchange called GDAX. What does it even stand for? I don't even know.
Global Digital Asset Exchange.
There we go. You're ahead of me.
I'm ahead of you, bro.
You know all about it.
And I asked what it was.
Yeah, and it's basically an exchange. It's basically a currency exchange on your laptop. It's a website.
So it's a little more advanced way to like buy and sell Bitcoin rather than own Bitcoin in order to use. That's
something I forgot to get into was the price of Bitcoin, the actual price of what you pay for it. If you're buying it from like a wallet service, the wallet service needs to make money. They're going to charge you a company fee.
It's usually like 2 to 5%. It's somewhere pretty high. It's pretty decent.
And when the price of Bitcoin's fucking at 15,000, that's insane. To pay like I paid you $5 and ended up paying a $16 fee.
Yep.
I was like, what is happening? So GDAX, I don't know why, but they eliminate. I'm sure there's a reason. I don't know why, but they eliminate the fees when you buy. I guess since you're buying it from another person, technically, right?
I don't know how their business model works.
That has to be it, because when you're buying it from Coinbase, you're actually buying the Bitcoin from Coinbase. When you're buying it from GDAX, you're buying it from another person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense because it's all right there.
That might be it.
So I'm trading on GDAX, is it literally coming from someone else who's using GDAX?
Yeah, there's an order book.
Or does it come from like literally anywhere that's selling it? I really don't get it.
Whatever the order is between two people. Or I think it's like a fill, so it's between some people, part of some order from another person. Be it human or not, like a robot trader, but I don't think it's like a company. Maybe companies can buy it from GDAX on the low, sell it for a premium. That's what we should do. Get in the Bitcoin or the fucking cryptocurrency business. Buy a bunch from GDAX, sell it all on the open market with a fee.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Have you heard of a Bitcoin ATM?
No.
They have a bunch of them in New York. It was huge in New York. They had a live in-person Bitcoin. It was like a cryptocurrency exchange, like a trading floor.
Really?
Yeah, it was in that movie, wasn't it?
Where is this?
In New York.
Like where though?
I don't know. But around like New York, they have a bunch of like Bitcoin ATMs, and they charge like an outrageous fee.
Oh, I'm looking it up right now. Bitcoin ATM. Wow, Bitcoin Depot ATMs. There's literally some in Jacksonville.
I could imagine.
Wow,
how much is the fee?
I have never heard of these. I'm weak. Hold on, I'm on Wikipedia real quick. Internet machine that allows a person to exchange Bitcoin and cash. Offer bi-directional functionality enable both the purchase of Bitcoin as well as the redemption of Bitcoin for cash. In some cases, Bitcoin ATM providers require users to have an existing account to transact on the machine. Wow, that's wild. But so like you can basically put money in and get some Bitcoin, or you can take money out.
Yeah,
after selling it. That's wild.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what else you got for me?
So buying and selling it. So tell me about trading it. One thing I like about it. I am a trader, and I'm not much of a trader at the same time. Like I can swing trade pretty well because I watch a lot of stocks, and I know like, oh wow, this price isn't right. This should be like that. I do a quick search, and I'm like, yeah, yep, it's good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, right.
That's how I am over like the course of like 10 or 15 stocks. But with Bitcoin, it's literally 24-hour trading. Like we can wake up at 2 a.m. and just start clicking.
And it's global.
Click. And it's global, like literally global digital asset exchange. Wow, there is a lot of Bitcoin being sold at 85.22 right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
By a lot, I mean 38.
38 Bitcoin. There's different orders that add up to 38 Bitcoin right now.
There's a lot of strength there. Or not? What would that be? Resistance?
Well, there's sell orders.
A lot of sell orders, so that's not going to push the price up. Because that number keeps going up. So we're short right now. Short.
But you got to think there's like this.
Sell.
That's not the whole market of Bitcoin.
No, it's just this exchange.
Yeah. Like, there's also market orders going in through Coinbase, which Coinbase is directly affecting what GDAX says.
Well, how many users does GDAX use, or how many users does GDAX have?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Do you think Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency should be part of everybody's portfolio?
Here's the thing, and I've talked about this a lot with my coworkers. I
told you to short it and it dropped $5. Look at her go. Dropped $9, $8, $10, $11.
Close the position.
Jesus Christ, man! I would kill it. I would kill it.
The thing about
I'm
trading,
buying right now. Bye.
The thing about trading Bitcoin and this is like a very risky thing to say. I never advise like following this pattern, but it is very wavy. It does have like waves during the day. The thing is, like, some waves are bigger than the others, and they go in either direction. So you could ride the normal waves, the normal wavelength. But then, like, when a huge wave comes, you better hope it goes up.
Yeah, you got to figure it. You got to learn. You got to know how you're going to work out that trade. You got to learn how you're going to manage that and really cover your ass. Because if it drops down, you're going to have to start increasing your position. That's all you can do. Yeah, that's all you can really do. Put in a stop loss, or start just increasing your position.
There's some people who will argue for like putting that be the only investment is cryptocurrencies. They trust that more than they do anything else. More than the bond markets, more than the U.S. economy, more than the global economy, more than stocks, more than anything.
I mean, I'm more excited to have 1,000. If I was going to put $1,000 in the S&P 500, and then I was going to put $1,000 in Bitcoin and leave it for 10 years, I'm more excited about the Bitcoin. I'm going to be honest.
You think so? You think
I think so.
I don't know how like people evaluate $50,000 and $100,000 end of year calls for Bitcoin.
There has to be serious demand for Bitcoin. That's the only way. It's almost like it's still at an IPO because nobody's using it. It's not out yet. Like, it's not real until more businesses and Walmart and your Targets of the world, McDonald's and Exxon start accepting Bitcoin as payment. There's no demand.
Once Amazon starts accepting Bitcoin, like, it's over.
You think it's just going to go to the moon?
Yeah, it's over. Everybody's buying Bitcoin now.
But at that point,
who doesn't use Amazon? No. It's going to fucking fly up.
But still, what's the point of buying Bitcoin to buy stuff on Amazon? So you can't.
It's so easy. I don't know.
It's the same as having your card saved in the thing.
I don't know. I would trust Bitcoin payments over credit card payments. Because, like
if I owed you $10 right now,
listen to what I'm saying. Let me finish my thought.
Sorry.
I would rather trust Bitcoin payments on Amazon rather than my credit card payments. Who's that third party? We talked about this. The third party for me is the miner in the cryptology. But like with credit cards, is it just a person at a desk? I don't know what happens. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And so I'd rather have
So you have the security of the blockchain.
Yeah, have you ever had credit card fraud? Like someone stolen your number offline or something like that?
Oh yeah, I had someone stole my card number somehow, and they tried to ring up it was like $1,600 at a pet store in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got shut down real quick.
Yeah, and see, I feel like there's more security with the with any kind of blockchain technology.
Because it's literally just going from my wallet to yours. It's the same as if I owe you $10. It's the same as you pulling out your wallet, me pulling out my wallet, and moving $10 in cash into your wallet.
Yeah,
it's exactly how it is, except I'm doing it electronically. There's no third party. There's no Visa. There's no Apex clearinghouse. There's no PayPal. There's no bank.
It's you, me, and the blockchain.
You and me and good old technology.
You, me, and the blockchain.
And we can send each other. We can send each other money, and it's off the records now. Do you think it can breed more crime as Bitcoin comes about? Like, do you think drug dealers and stuff are going to start wanting Bitcoin?
All right. So we had there's a thing called Silk Road. You had to use some kind of special browser,
Tor.
a VPN, and you had to use like code words like don't be stupid, be oblivious, all that. And the website was called Silk Road, and you could literally buy anything. You could buy drugs, you could buy hookers, there was sex trafficking,
assassinations.
Yeah.
Little kids, kiddie porn.
Anything. And but honestly, I'm not trying to justify it, but if you're talking about like if I'm paying someone for drugs and Bitcoin, or if I'm paying for like illegal acts with Bitcoin, like you can do that with cash too. Like you can buy prostitutes with cash.
Mm-hmm.
You
can buy heroin.
Most of America's drug money is cash. It's not cryptocurrency right now. I could tell you that. I want to say I'm 100% positive that most illegal acts go on through cash or some other kind of form
through
of
buying
currency.
cash. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So it's really not a way of looking at it. It's really just a way of looking at it as a different type of money that more businesses need to accept. I feel like unless businesses start to accept it, it's not going to take off. It's not going to be widely accepted. Because people are thinking the same thing. It's just give me the cash.
You know what Warren Buffett said about Bitcoin?
There's like rat poison.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I'm gonna pull it up. There's Charlie Munger said something about. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I can't even. All right, right here it says. So this was at the Berkshire Hathaway annual conference, shareholders conference.
Do you know what year?
This was May 7th. This is just a couple weeks ago. The computer science behind Bitcoin is a great triumph of the human mind. They created a product that's hard to create more of, but not impossible. But I see artificial speculative medium. It's antisocial, stupid, and immoral. I regard the whole thing as a combination of dementia and immorality. I think the people pushing it are a disgrace, and there ought to be some things that are beneath you that you just don't do, and this is one. Suppose you can make a lot of money trading freshly harvested baby brains. Would you do it? To me, Bitcoin is almost as bad.
And this was the decrepit guy, right?
This is the guy who looks like he has 1 foot he's knee deep in the grave. Like they're lowering his body right now, just waiting for him to die. He is the vice chairman. He's the right hand man, quote unquote, of Warren Buffett, the world's best investor. I guess they're best friends here. But it says Bitcoin is bad as trading.
Guess they're best friends.
you gotta remember, for someone who, first of all, Berkshire Hathaway bases their valuations off of management and well-run businesses and growing businesses. That's like, it's okay. So obviously Bitcoin doesn't even have that. Also, new people. Oh yeah, they don't like technology. That's a new fucking thing. Yeah, that's brand new. No. Old people always reject technology, especially what's new. I actually had a conversation with a guest today when I was at work that said that her parents never carry cash. I'm sorry, her parents will only carry cash, and they refuse to get a bank account. They refuse to get credit cards. They refuse to get anything like that. And it's literally hard for them to start to live their lives. People need to adapt to these technologies. Now, granted, you might not need to adapt to Bitcoin, but you've got to accept it as a thing. If some people want to do it, let them do it. This is the free market putting it at $8,000 to $20,000 valuations. Okay, not some random deity out in the middle of nowhere.
The government.
The flying spaghetti monster. Exactly. It's not some. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go in. But
isn't he gonna look like an asshole if it becomes like the only currency?
Yeah. There's actually talks of some countries adopting Bitcoin as their currency, and of course, that's all headline and speculation. Probably won't happen. But I've heard of companies or countries creating their own cryptocurrency.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I
just feel like there needs to be some kind of support group of nation or something.
That gets rid of the the desire to escape that government institutionalism.
Yeah.
Because the decentralization is the whole purpose of the Bitcoin. So becoming a national currency might not. Global currency, yes. National government controlled currency, Jesus Christ, no.
I think it's very hard to exchange goods with a global currency inside your own country. Like, for example, it's easier to buy something in Bitcoin from Japan than it would be in America.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bitcoin is actually very popular in Japan. Apparently, their bankers embraced it. Like they always host these meetings about inflation and their interest rates and their central bank. And when they have these meetings, 9 times out of 10, there's people that are completely against it. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, actually met one time, maybe 2-3 months ago. They were actually bullish on it, said that it could be used for great things and bring new resources into third world areas. So, I mean, there is some bullishness out there. The Japanese government seems to not really mind it or view it as a threat to their personal currency. It is interesting. It's popular over in Asia. China shut it down.
Korea shut it down.
Korea, I think you can still. I thought you could still do it in Korea, but it's just regulated now.
You can buy it, but you can't exchange it.
Can't exchange it. So you can buy. Can you trade it for goods and services?
You can exchange it, but you cannot buy it, or you cannot trade it.
Anyway, that's my last question is, what's the difference between the different cryptos? We see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, there's Ripple, there's all kinds of crazy shit out there.
So any cryptocurrency that's not Bitcoin is referred to as altcoin, alternative coin. And that's just, altcoin is any other cryptocurrency except for Bitcoin. Each cryptocurrency, if I'm not mistaken, uses some type of cryptology, which I think they all say blockchain, some type of blockchain. Now, whatever cryptology each cryptocurrency decides to use is up to them. I think there's like certain circumstances that Ethereum uses for their blockchain technology. It's more complex than I know right now, but some people believe in each cryptocurrency's fundamental blockchain technology, and they're all different, or else they'd all be the same. Why would you have different coins if they're all the same? Mm-hmm. So each way that transactions are processed are different. Some believe that their blockchain is faster than the others, which is why they invest in it.
They're all using blockchain technology.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yes.
Very, very interesting. But some of them, I've heard that there's problems with Bitcoin transaction times. Are you familiar with that at all?
Okay. So, the way, so transaction times have to do with how fast transactions are being put on the blockchain, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, well, if your computer can just do the algorithm, why does it's the same each time? Why is it a problem for time? Well, it's not the same. The more transactions that come through to be put on the blockchain that are queued up to be put on the blockchain, the increased difficulty of the algorithm happens. So if let's say it was just me and you that had access to Bitcoin, and we were trading Bitcoin left and right, transaction times would be almost instant. It would take the algorithm no time. It would take our computers no time to solve the algorithm. But millions of people using it, the algorithm is fucking ridiculously hard. And you got to think, and this is where other cryptocurrencies kind of are revolutionizing the sphere here. Bitcoin's I don't know what their megabyte per block size is right now, but it's pretty small. Bitcoin Cash has figured out a way to kind of increase that amount. So you think about all these transactions happening right now. They're not all simultaneously going on the blockchain. They've got to be solved. So there's a backlog of transactions. Your transaction time is you waiting to be put on the blockchain.
It says the blockchain is now over 20 gigabytes in size and growing at an increasing rate because the block size is capped at 1 megabyte. This means that the blockchain can grow at most 525,600 over 10 megabytes, or about 52 gigabytes per year.
See, that's insane. That's so long. And I think Bitcoin Cash's block size right now is 8 megabytes.
Eventually, it's going to grow by this transaction volume would generate 350 gigabytes a day, 127 terabytes a year.
The best algorithm that I have for you to explain transaction times is think about going into a club. You have a smaller club, you have a longer line. You have a bigger club, you don't have such a big of a line. There might still be a line, but it's a bigger club. People are going in and out. A smaller club.
So when they say processing times, was it literally everything between buying and selling it to using it to buy something, like go out to dinner?
What are you talking about?
Is it like when they say transaction time, oh, it's taking forever for transaction times? Are they talking about for the actual money to go from me to you?
Yep.
Wow. Interesting. I learned a little bit today.
Yep, that's one of the cons of cryptocurrencies is transaction times right now.
So where do you currently stand? If you have, yes, you have $1,000 right now, and they say, I'm gonna take that back. You got $10,000, and they say you can only do crypto stuff with it. What are you doing?
Average in.
Average in? Do you just leave it? Are you buy and hold? Do you think trading it is a good idea?
No, I don't trust myself trading it. Maybe if I had a little bit more technical analysis experience. I feel like I have some, but not like an expertise.
I like the volatility in it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it fucking bounces, man. Here's how I would do it: is I would first of all, I'd try to get access to an exchange. It's very hard to get access to an exchange in the United States. Most of the popular cryptocurrency exchanges are banned in the United States, and a lot of those exchanges offer hundreds, almost thousands of other altcoins. And if you diversify like through all other altcoins, especially like the big three that Coinbase offers, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, of course, Bitcoin Cash, but I don't want to touch that shit. I think that's a fucking scam and a half.
Absolutely.
But let's say like Litecoin has tons of potential to grow. Ethereum still has potential to grow. Bitcoin's kind of tapping on potential. People are saying 50,000. That's a lot. That's a fuck ton. But imagine like $100 to $10,000. That's basically what you're dealing with Litecoin right now. I'm saying like growth potential. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but.
Yeah, I'm looking at these spreads I'm pulling up the Litecoin. I'm pulling up the order book on that. It's kind of wild. There's 558 at this price, and then there's 36 at this price, and then there's 40 at this price, and then there's 416 at this price. It's just now, have you ever bought anything with your Bitcoin?
No.
So if you hit it big in Bitcoin, are you keeping it in Bitcoin?
No, I'm cashing out, man. I told my parents, this is what I tell people. I'm not buying shit with Bitcoin. You know, I still have my credit card, my debit cards, I have cash. I'll go to the mall. I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, me as a person, until it becomes something that I have to do as a necessity. Like, if someone says to me, oh, you have to use your card again, you're not just going to use your Bitcoin stamp on your arm, then I'm not going to use Bitcoin to buy stuff. I'm using Bitcoin purely for me, this is me personally, as an investment vehicle.
That's a good way to look at it. That's what I'm doing. I'm just hoping to catch some wave. Let's just say it goes to million, because you never know. You
don't
never
want to be left
fucking
out.
know, dude. I don't want to be left out.
You don't want to miss the arc.
I want to at least say I got something out of it. This has made billionaires. Did you know that? The Winklevoss twins from.
Yeah, they were trying to do the first Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah, they're the first Bitcoin billionaires.
Why do they even need Facebook? Why are they so upset about that?
Just get over it. God, you have enough money.
Yeah, well, people are saying that Bitcoin, you know, it goes on these peaks, but it always comes back. Like, if you look in history, it always comes back. Nobody was expecting this big of a spike, though. I'm talking about from last year. Nobody was expecting from like 1,000 to 20,000 within a year.
Yeah. I told you about that post when someone was like, "Oh yeah, I should have sold. I shouldn't have sold my Bitcoin. It went from 13 cents to like 28 cents."
So $2
And they're
or
like
something.
angry face. Yeah, like $2 or whatever. Yeah, dude. I mean, it can keep going. I'm not saying it will, but it definitely can, and people need to understand that that's a possibility. So I'm right there with you. I'm keeping it there just in case it hits something.
Here's my how do you say it? Words of wisdom for cryptocurrencies. Think of it as gambling money. Don't think of it as your core investment for retirement.
Yeah. This is just side money. That's why I have like $70 in it.
I mean, do it however you want, but I just like there's no way I can tell that the price of Bitcoin is going up. I understand it's more secure. 100% it's more secure than any other fiat currency or any other currency going around the world right now. It doesn't have any corruption behind it besides its own people, which doesn't make any sense. That's not a thing.
There's no manipulation. It's literally just buying and selling.
There's no way that I feel like anybody could say the price of it's going to keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there has to be some sort of, like you said, spike in demand. And like right now, we're not seeing any spikes in demand.
We had it all last year, I think. Do you think the hype is over on it?
I think it's taking a break. I think there's going to be some other hype later when there's going to be more of a demand of Bitcoin. That's going to drive the price up. Buying and demand is going to drive that price up.
There's just no way that it was one and done.
You know, this is the biggest pump and dump ever in the world.
Yeah, and it's over with. There's just no way in hell, dude.
Short Bitcoin.
Oh, hands down. Short and long.
I think if you're gonna do, I think it's a little early to be doing a long-term investment for Bitcoin right now. I have like weird feelings that like it's like gonna hit 4,000 again. Because I mean, like if you look at this chart, like a year chart for Bitcoin. Hold on, I'm on coinmarketcap.com. It's a good reference for all cryptocurrencies. Currently it has a list of how many cryptocurrencies there are. Currently there's 1,600 cryptocurrencies, 11,000 markets. Hear that?
Wow.
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull up this Bitcoin chart, and it's like a max chart real quick. I feel like it's still got to retrace some, dude.
It still has that potential. It still has that want. Does technical analysis apply to Bitcoin?
Of course, yeah.
You sure? Like double, triple bottoms and all that shit, it works?
Yes and no. It works on a micro level, I feel. More and then less on a macro level.
Works more. Say that again. It works more on a
micro level and
like the 5-minute charts.
Yeah. Like when you're doing Fibonacci numbers and stuff like that, it's really tough to be doing it over like a long period of time. I think that was the advice I've read. If not, I'm wrong and I'm totally bullshitting this whole thing. But you don't want like long-term retracements are going to give you kind of like a weird picture. Or maybe it's short terms will give you a weird picture. I don't know, we'll cut that part out. Fibonacci, next episode.
Fibonacci.
Yeah, I don't think that yeah, I do think that Bitcoin is purely technical. I think you could use technical analysis to predict that shit.
Would you be comfortable day trading it?
I week trade it, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to set like alarms, and they'd be going off all the time. I'd have trouble sleeping. And they'd be like loud alarms too, because the swings happen, and they're like tsunamis, dude. They just take off.
That's true. Yeah, you'll be watching it, and then like it'll literally just go up. I watch Litecoin a lot, so let's just say Litecoin will go up like $4 or $5 in just a minute. And you're like, whoa, where the fuck did this come from? Little 3% move in like a second. Just dut.
When it was in like the 15s and 16s, and like when it went from 10 to 20, dude, it was lit. Bang, 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 bang.
Dude, yeah, it skyrocketed. It went like just a locomotive rolling on butter.
God, could you imagine just taking like a huge chunk of Bitcoin out of the market, or just buying a bunch of it?
Destroying 1 million of it.
Yeah.
What are you watching this week, bud?
I am watching a company called International Paper.
Ooh, they're big.
Yeah, IP, ticker symbol IP. You know, I'm guilty of doing something, a faux pas. I was on Stock Twits. I follow someone who doesn't give me. I'm not exclusive. But they tweet out their options activity. I don't know who's it for, but they do like $75,000 sweeps, $25,000 sweeps of just options. These are I don't know, like it's some institutional option buy, and they say like options action for IP, and it'll say like 92% calls, 8% puts, and then it'll show a picture, and it'll show like what their strike price is, their expiration date, what their premium was, and all that jazz. And I took the bait. I went for it.
So how were you able to get the same price as whoever posted it?
I think I got pretty close. I think I got maybe like 4 or 5 cents off.
So this is just showing their position.
Yeah, it's somebody's position. I don't know if it's like a bank or.
And the spot is their price?
I think that's the current price per share. Yeah, for sure, that's the price per share.
I think that was the price per share when they bought the option.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try that out.
All-in calls. So there's basically saying that they got a 55 call.
Yeah, I'm doing a little.
Yeah, they got several different strikes.
I got. Yeah, it's weird.
What's the? How's the chart look? I'm just curious because I mean I would never take.
Or for the
I never
option.
take. On the underlying.
Let me find it. It looks good. Like when I was looking at it, it technically looks good on a technical stance. If you look at it, it's at a bottom and it looks like it's got some support right now. Like the 1 year has a support like that goes straight across the bottom line. You don't find that often with charts.
And what's the premium on these?
The premium on this option was what did I pay? $65.
65-cent premium.
Yeah.
She's a $23 billion company. She's
pretty big company, yeah.
I mean, look at this year. Just a 55 call. She is down from the highs, of course. Wow. By June? That's ballsy.
I'm at $10 right now. I'm gonna might cash it in soon.
That's ballsy. Where is she at for the day? Or the week, I mean.
IP?
Ooh, a little upcharge. I mean, if you bought it today, that was a good time to buy it, I feel like. Looking at the week chart.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
What are you watching?
I am watching, I've used it before, MGM.
No, we're not doing Cancel the podcast.
Here's the reason. They just legalized it, man.
Oh, sports betting.
It's here. I can't fucking wait.
Long Dover Downs. DDE.
Dude, let's just quit trading options and let's just start betting on Alabama football.
Oh my God, all day. Like if you bet on Alabama for the whole season, oh my God.
$100 win straight up. Don't even just fuck the spread. And most Las Vegas and casino companies went up on this news. MGM actually continued to fall. She's down about 8% for the month still, which I like. She is one of my favorite stocks. Last time when I talked about her, you're not playing her necessarily for domestic reasons. You want Macau. That's the biggest market. That's the expansion. So I still continue to see some value in MGM. It's kind of taking it in the ass right now. Down 8% for the month, 3 months down 4%. So still pulled back. I think she has the potential to charge to 40 still. It's gonna be a while. I'd go MGM 35 call end of year game. blouses.
Game blouses. I think it's a podcast, man.
I think that's a podcast. Where can they hit us up at?
Email us at rebeltradinggroup@gmail.com. That's rebeltradinggroup with 2 G's @gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook. We're a little bit inactive. Busy people. 2-man team.
Yeah.
So if you want an
2-man team.
internship, hit us up at rebeltradinggroup@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com /Rebel Trading Group. Hit us up on YouTube, youtube.com /Rebel Trading Group.
Questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, or insults.
We'll take funny pictures. We might start a meme Instagram page. We had that idea.
Neuters. We'll trade nudes for Bitcoin.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I'm selling, man. I'm selling.
So
I had fun, man. Thanks for teaching me a little bit about crypto. I mean,
yeah, I know a little bit, not a lot.
You know a little bit. I mean, the nitty gritty technical shit that doesn't all necessarily matter.
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's what is it and what is the value of it? Like, do we care how we buy and sell our stocks and how it's going through market makers? It goes through an exchange. Do we give a shit how there's brokers, or do we just know that we're long SPY?
Well, I'm long SPY. I'm long as fuck SPY.
Mm-hmm.
Long as fuck.
LAF.
SPY.
Long AF.
Yeah, excuse my language.
No, I like it. Bring it.
What was your question? Sorry, I just heard long as fuck SPY and I was like, yeah, I'm totally about that.
No, I was basically saying like how man, I don't even remember now.
Let's just end it.
Let's just call it.
We'll see
I'm
you
not
on
editing
Friday.
that out either.
Bye.
Later, guys.